Welcome to our webinar with Shawnee State University. Delighted that you can all join us here today. My name's Ross Duncan. I head up the marketing team here at FirstPoint USA, and we're delighted this evening or today to be joined by Gerald Cadogan, Athletic Director for Shawnee State University, and Ryan Warner, who's Director for the Centre of International Programs and Activities. So two great guests with us, and we're here this evening to learn all about Shawnee State University and some of the student-athlete opportunities on offer. We'll talk about some of the different sports, talk a little bit about the culture at Shawnee State, a little bit about where these guys are based, and some of the incredible facilities and opportunities and faculties that Shawnee State has to offer. So FirstPoint has worked with Shawnee State probably over the past year or so, good partner of ours, and we're really here to help our prospective student athletes get a better understanding of what Shawnee State can offer. So without further ado, I shall introduce the two guys and let both individual gentlemen talk about their respective roles. So we shall kick off with you, Gerald, first.
Perfect. Good evening, good afternoon. If you're here in the States, it's only 2 o'clock. My name is Gerald Cadogan. I am the athletic director here at Shawnee State University. I've been in this role for 3 years. Prior to that, I played football in the NFL for 3 years, and then the Canadian Football League for 3 years. And prior, in between playing professionally and being the athletic director, I started the swim program here at Shawnee State 8 years ago and was a coach and teacher at a high school for 10 years. So I'm excited to share with you all the things that Shawnee State has to offer. Also, shed some light on us moving from NAIA to Division II. And that transition, very much excited to get the best athletes here to Shawnee State as possible. And hopefully that might be a few of you on this call.
Great stuff. And we'll pass over to you, Ryan.
Yeah, my name is Ryan Warner. I serve as the Director of International Programs here at Shawnee State. In my role, I've been here for just a little over 11 years, and I've been doing the field of international higher education for about 13 years in total. I've been helping international students succeed here academically, athletically, socially, to ensure that all international students that come here have the resources and support that they need during their studies and their athletic career, just to make sure that they're as successful as possible. So it's again, just thanks for having everyone, and appreciate your time joining in to hear about Shawnee State.
Thanks, guys. And yeah, before we kind of go into the main questions, there is a chat function or a conversations function on the webinar, on the platform. You'll see it on the left-hand side, I think. So if any of you have questions, feel free to pop them into the chat box. We'll keep an eye on them. We'll probably ask them, most of them, at the end of the session, or if there are any that are relevant to some of the discussions that we're having, I'll interject and pose the questions to the guys. We're also recording the webinar this evening as well, so don't worry if you miss or you have to kind of jump out for a drink of water or something like that. We'll share the recording, with everybody who's registered for it. So that'll be with you guys tomorrow. So yeah, we'll kick off with the first question then. So just quite a general question. We've obviously got people from a variety of different countries, different sports as well. So what would you say is the overall philosophy of Shawnee State University, and why would a talented prospective student athlete choose Shawnee over some of the competitors or some of the different schools out there?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer this question. Shawnee State University, and especially with our athletic department, is a place where all student athletes, no matter where they come from, no matter what their background is, can come, and we can all put the logo on together, the Shawnee State brand, and represent and go win games. It's a place where your voice is going to be heard. It's a place where you're going to be pushed in the classroom and in competition. And we want the best and the brightest. So if you want to win, if you want to come out with a degree, If you want to be pushed in the classroom and in competition and be supported along your journey, Shawnee State is the place for you. If you don't want to win in the classroom, Shawnee is not the place for you. We want you to have a high success rate in the classroom. We want to see you perform in competition. And at the end of the day, we also want to win games. And I'm here in my role to make sure that's supported. We do have an international student athlete committee where your voice is heard. Coach Warner and I work together to make sure that we do projects. We have this thing on our website called Bears from Around the World, where we highlight different athletes that are from different countries within our department currently to celebrate them as we challenge them to win, again, in the classroom and in competition.
Well, that's great. Great answer. That's sounds like a great culture and philosophy. I thought you were going to do the pause up there as well.
I can. They're always there.
Good. And sticking with you then, Gerald, what would be the kind of key athletic or sports programs on offer at Shawnee State? I know there's 23 different sports right across the board. So what would you identify as some of the kind of higher profile within the university or some of the more successful?
Yeah, right now our soccer programs are really thriving. That's where a lot of our internationals currently are on men and women's soccer, men and women's tennis, men and women's swimming. But we are open to any and everyone to participate in all of our sports across the board, whether that be cheerleading, whether that be basketball, whether that be golf. We have something here for everyone to come be a part of and be a part of this winning tradition.
You mentioned soccer there. Then would that be men's and women's soccer? I mean, we have I know we have a lot of soccer players on the audience tonight. Maybe tell us about your men's and women's soccer programs.
Yeah, our men and women's soccer programs have really thrived with our new head coach, Coach Rodriguez, on the men's side, and Coach McCulley on the Coach Rodriguez on the men's side, Coach McCulley on the women's side. We are ingrained into the community where we run camps and intricate training sessions. It's especially with soccer. I know on our men's side, their shirts even say hello, or no, it actually says Bears in 7 different languages. All the languages that are represented on the team are on the back of their shirts. It just says Bears. I think that's just something that it's those little things, because we expect you to perform at a high level, but you will be thousands of miles away from your home. And so we want to make sure that we are, that your voice is heard, that you are supported, and there's a little piece of home here at Shawnee, and that we're growing too to accommodate that and to make sure that we celebrate that too.
Brilliant. And obviously, if you're going, some of our international athletes looking at the States, we at FirstPoint talk a lot about the facilities on offer, and I know compared to this country, some of the facilities available are incredible. I know you guys have been investing in facilities, got some new facilities. Can you maybe share with the audience just some of the facilities you have for different sports and what sort of facilities you have for those different sports? Yeah,
one project that we just, a few projects that we just finished, we just upgraded our seat backs in our gymnasium. So that would encompass volleyball, men and women's basketball. We just updated lighting, seating, and the windscreens on our tennis courts. And so that's for our men and women's tennis team. Our pool was just renovated in 2020. I know, now that I say that out loud, it's 5 years ago, but it's still top notch. We have a 6-lane, 25-meter pool, that's short course, on campus for our men and women, our swim team. We are going to be resurfacing our soccer field. So we'll have a brand new soccer turf there. We're also looking at some facilities just designated to soccer, looking at some indoor space as well. And with football coming down the pike in the fall of 28, we just acquired Spartan Municipal Stadium, which we will rename, but we'll have a football stadium down there, and would love to, play some games and, some soccer games and other activities down there. So it's really an exciting time for our athletic department, and we're, very much love the support all across campus and in this community. But I will have to shout out to Coach Warner here, who does a phenomenal job making sure that our international student athletes are heard, that there's activities for them, that they're supported. It's really a place where they obviously we're talking about the new facilities and what we're bringing to the table, but also just that support. It's more than just bells and whistles and lights. It's that support when you get there too. And hats off to Coach Warner.
Absolutely, no, it looks amazing. And this may be one for both of you. Then I've recently watched a really good program on the Amazon Prime series, college tour series that featured Shawnee State, and brilliant to see some of your students and student athletes talking about their experiences. How much impact has that show or that episode from that show had on, I guess, the awareness of the university, both from maybe a student athlete perspective and general recruitment perspective?
Yeah, perfect. I can kind of tackle that. So the college tour episode that was featured on Amazon Prime was definitely an incredible opportunity for us to showcase our campus to the global community. It gave us, what I feel like is a voice on a much larger scale for people to be able to see what we have, our facilities, state of the art facilities. The positive attitude that we have, and essentially showcase what I believe is kind of the best kept secret of our state in Ohio. We have some major name institutions in the state of Ohio, the Ohio State University and University of Cincinnati, but very large institutions. And then you have us nestled here in the southeast foothills of Ohio. And, it gave students the ability to showcase to other students how successful you can be here, how happy they are, the family style atmosphere that we have, and the preparation that you see students getting for their careers. And I think that's an important thing to highlight, is students who come here, they get to compete at a very high level athletically, be successful. Some go on to play pro sports, at the pro level. And athletic director Gerald would know, some of those cases that have went on to play in the NBA and at the pro level. And that's spectacular, but also preparing these students for their careers. We all kind of have that point in time in our lives where we have to hang up the cleats or put the ball away on the shelf and go, okay, what am I going to do with my career? And students were able to showcase in that Amazon Prime college tour episode for us, whether it be in computer engineering, cybersecurity, nursing, education, that when they walk away with a degree from here, not only, did they have a great career in sports and maybe they're moving forward with that, but also they're going to go get that career that they've invested their time and studies into. And that, I really truly feel like the Amazon episode encompassed all of that.
Gerald, I know you starred in the episode. Is there anything to add from your perspective about the benefit that's had?
I think it's just it speaks to our initiative to make sure that people know what's going on campus and what we have to offer here. We want to be a place where we are people's first choice and not their second choice or whatever the case may be. But just showcasing everything that we bring to the table, I think was a great initiative of that film.
Great. And we'll when we send the recording of this, we'll share a link to watch the video, because it really is worth watching and seeing what Shawnee is like from a student's perspective. It's worth a watch. Back to you, Ryan. Just looking at admissions requirements, I know there's a couple of questions coming in on that front. So for international students, then, what would be the requirements, both academically and athletically? Obviously, athletic is going to depend on each individual sport, but can you kind of summarize for us what would be required for international students applying?
Yeah, so international student athletes definitely have to meet all of the admission requirements for the institution, and some of those just on the surface. to preface that list of things they have to do, I will work with students through the entire process. They have my contact information, WhatsApp. They can contact me through the entire process, and they will never feel, if there's a gap in communication or information. So I love to be accessible and assist our students through that process. Obviously, they'll submit a general international student application to the institution. We'll receive that, and then they will need to attach the supporting documents to that application. Those are an NCRED or WES evaluation. Those are basically an official evaluation of their high school transcripts or any college courses that they may have had. With NAIA, we have always required NCRED in the past. There could be some transition with that going into Division II. But once we get that, we tag it to their application. They'll need to submit a standardized test score, SAT or ACT, and then a English proficiency score if English is not their native language. Where majority of students are now, post-COVID, submitting the Duolingo. So we do accept the Duolingo score for English proficiency. A bank statement. That bank statement will show that they have the funding to cover their costs here, less any academic scholarships or athletic scholarships that they would receive, and then of course a copy of their current passport. And so we walk them through that entire process, but that's just kind of the generic list that they will need to submit. And then of course, once they work with the athletic director or coach that they're being recruited by, any sort of film and video, things like that on that back end would process through the athletic department.
Great. Thanks for that comprehensive answer. Again, staying with you, Ryan, then looking at costs, and again, there's a question coming on that. Could you sort of summarize the estimated total cost of attendance for an international student, covering obviously things like tuition and board,
Yep.
and what forms of athletic and academic scholarships might be available?
Yeah. So the total cost for this academic year, for one academic year, was $32,575 US. A quick breakdown: the tuition and fees were around $16,700. So that's the tuition and fees, and this is all inclusive. Room and unlimited meal plan is $12,200. And then health insurance, books were around $3,700. And so that's all in, unlimited meal plan, room, tuition, fees. As far as academic scholarships, we definitely have internal international student scholarships of awards of up to between $1,000 to $3,000. Those are all based on availability, GPA. Then we also have through financial aid, which is what we call merit awards, and those are a combination of your NCRED, so your GPA evaluation from your high school, plus SAT or SAT scores. So we combine that, we look at it, and then we have a matrix that you can get up to $5,000 a year for academic awards. There are some freshman awards out there that we love to look into, Friends of Shawnee awards that, in my role, what I try to do is put together the best package I can to lower that cost. We are the most competitive in terms of costs in the state of Ohio. We are one of the most affordable schools for international students. And when of our 60 international students that we have here, when they find out what other international students are paying at nearby institutions, they're like, wow, this really is, I'm glad I'm going here because of the cost. And then once you get into athletics, and Coach Cadogan can really attest to probably, the athletic scholarships, but very, very competitive level scholarships, so Coach Cadogan, if you want to touch on those.
Yeah, we do offer scholarships across all of our sports, including cheer, even bowling, obviously like our higher tier sports, our Olympic sports like basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, swimming, track. They do hold slightly increased budgets for scholarship, but it's all based on your ability. I do know if there are any women tennis or women swimmers on the call, we have money and lots of it to give to you. So would highly recommend you reach out and let's get you here to Shawnee. But there are scholarships. It's just ranging on ability and what position you currently play and the need. I know, like with baseball, softball, pitchers and catchers and shortstop are some of the high demand ones. Basketball, the taller you are, or if you can shoot very accurately, there are scholarships there for you as well. But yeah, women's tennis and women's swimming, we have money for you and lots of it.
Sounds good. I know women's soccer has come up in the questions. Is what level of scholarship might be available in women's soccer? Is that a good budget that you have available?
Yeah, that is a healthy budget. We're looking and we're shooting for as we move into the Mountain East Conference. We're looking and NCAA. We are shooting for equivalency. So our equivalency is like how much the cost of tuition and how much scholarship we offer. So there are increases across the board. We did receive a substantial increase across the board for all of our sports. There's another one coming next year. And then we will be right in the thick of things as far as all of our student athletes scholarships are concerned. So we are very competitive. We're growing and building.
Definitely sounds it. And staying with you then, I know we're getting a few questions about kind of different sports there, and you might touch upon some of these. What can you tell us just about some of the accomplishments that some of your teams and programs have had in recent years, and what would be the kind of flagship sports programs at Shawnee?
Yeah, it's hard to identify one in the question where there's specific sports that they asked about, because we have a tradition here of winning from top to bottom. So, for example, if our women's golf is struggling and not winning, what we do is myself and our staff, we turn our attention to that. What supports do they need? How can we amplify what they're doing now? How can we build and grow? So even all of our sports across the board from top to bottom have seen it. But we did win a national title in basketball in 2020. Our women swimming and men's swimming finished top in the conference, top 3 in the conference last year. Our women's soccer is very, very competitive. Our men's soccer is doing phenomenal right now. As far as the conference is concerned, we're in the top 3 compared to where we were a year or even 2 years ago. It's a night and day difference. Our cross country team makes it to nationals every year. Our swim team makes it to nationals every year. Our bowling team is very competitive. So from top to bottom, and me sitting in this chair, I wouldn't be here if I'm part of a losing department. If all we're doing is bringing people in and signing them up, giving them scholarships, and good luck to you. We want people here that are going to have, or that are going to thrive and get better, and ultimately to win games. And again, from top to bottom, I'm here in this chair to ensure that the coaches have the support they need, the student athletes have the support they need, the programs have the support they need to be successful.
It sounds like the student athletes are in great hands. And you mentioned at the start of the session the transition from NAIA to NCAA D2. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what changes that might bring to the university?
Yeah, so it's going to really amplify our level of competition. It's going to elevate the athletes that we have on campus because we will be competing in an elevated competition realm. So we're very much excited about that. Academically, it won't change too much. And I would say the onboarding process or recruit to student athlete process here at Shawnee, there would be another element of just ensuring you're registered with the NCAA and that you have your NCAA ID and that we just follow those protocols and guidelines. But it's an exciting time here at Shawnee State for us to grow, to build, and no academic impacts at all. If you're an athlete today and an athlete, next year, you wouldn't see much of a difference at all. A lot of it is just the rules and regulations, the do's and don'ts, the recruits, and then how many that work-life balance, that student-athlete balance to ensure that there is life outside of athletics. So those are some of the changes you can expect.
Absolutely. And just looking at some of the individuals, I know you mentioned that earlier in the call. Have you got an example of someone who has been successful kind of postgraduate, either in their chosen sport or onto a specific career?
Yeah, we have plenty of examples. We have some of our men and women's basketball players that are playing overseas right now in the G League is what they're called. We have some former cross-country runners that were on the national stage, and now they're moving up in their business world. They're are no longer the student athlete. They're in the workforce and having success there with some of the discipline and the things that they learned here. We've had some soccer players that have had opportunities to go and have tryouts at different major clubs and things of that nature. Same thing with baseball and softball. So Shawnee is a place where you can come and you will have those opportunities. We do have those resources to connect you with agents or whatever when that time comes, if that is something you are looking to pursue after your 4 years here at Shawnee.
Brilliant. That's good to hear. It's always good to kind of find out a little bit about what students go on to do after they leave. And again, looking at the video, there's obviously some very successful individuals out there. And I suppose on both your roles, again, the video certainly touches upon this. In terms of that sort of career development, I know there's a big focus on, say, work experience and kind of a lot of hands-on experience getting into the workplace. What's Shawnee's kind of philosophy about developing individuals for their chosen career after they've graduated?
Yeah, so our goal here, my goal, Coach Cadogan, all the faculty and staff that work with our students, our main goal here is to really develop the entire student athlete. And that's including, from athletic performance to academic excellence, leadership skills, career preparation. And we do that through providing a wide variety of internships, mentorship, and really close academic advising. We want to make sure students get in and they have from day one, a clear graduation path. With also, hands-on experience with their internships, being international students, whether that be working with them on CPT all the way to OPT when they get that final year on their I-20 to stay and work in the United States after they graduate. And so, we value that, if not more than anything on my behalf, just making sure that these students, when they walk away from the game, that they are, and as international students, they're a well-rounded individual that's prepared to go into the workforce and get a job from day one. And, one great example would be Mr. Joao Toledo, who graduated as an undergraduate here, played soccer, went on to do our MBA, and now just got hired on at Enterprise, which is a major global car rental agency. He's now the lead manager in Ashland, Kentucky. And so you just look at this whole path that a student is taking, and was very successful on the field all the way to now being successful in their career. And that, to me, is what a true success story is. And to that point as well, I think if we look at data in terms of what is that success rate for our students are graduating from Shawnee State. They're not coming here and then a year transferring out. The transfer portal, that's a big thing right now. And our students are coming here, they stay here, they love it, they get integrated as a family, and then they graduate, and then we move them on into their careers, and they're prepared. And I think that data shows that students who come here really do flourish, and to me that's so important.
Yeah, I know one of your statements was, I think, recruit, retain, and win. So certainly that retention of athletes certainly rings true.
Yep.
And I know, again, one of the things we talk about with our own athletes is that balance between academics and athletics. Obviously, if you're a student athlete, you've got the best of both worlds, but it's also the challenging aspects of both worlds. And I know you guys provide a lot of support for your athletes. Can you talk about some of those aspects, both how you support student athletes academically, and then some of the, I guess, the more technical aspects, your kind of coaching side, strength and conditioning, and all the different support teams that you have across your programs?
Yeah, so we do have mandatory study hall. So all of our freshmen and first year student athletes are required to get between 6 and 8 hours per week of study hall. We do have free tutoring in math and in writing, and any content that you are taking. We do have tutors that are available there. We have a nutritionist on campus. We have what's called Bear Care, and that's for student athlete mental health. Assessments and resources as far as that's concerned. We have a training room and we have a doctor that is on campus. Weekly, we have 3 trainers that are on campus to provide treatment and triage for any injury or prevention. We do have a strength and conditioning coach as well. So yeah, we try to make sure that student athletes have everything that they would need for success here at Shawnee State.
Sounds good. And moving on to the academic side, then, I know there'll be a variety of kind of specialist subjects among the audience, or people studying or looking to study different things. What are you guys most renowned for? What are the kind of big faculties at Shawnee?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we offer so many wonderful programs across the board, but I think if you Googled us, right now, the number one thing that would pop up is our game design program. We're nationally ranked in video game design. There's 2 sides to that. There's an art side and a programming side. You can, one's more on the artistic side, the other one's computer engineering based. And then tagged with that is our competitive esports, which we're also very competitive with. So I know that that's a major up and coming field is competitive esports. We're already, I'm proud to say we're way ahead of the game there with competitive esports and being on the national, if not global scale with that. Our business program, education, nursing is a big one. Very strong nursing program with international students enrolled in that program. Pre-med sciences. And then 2 really interesting programs. One, we have plastics engineering. There's one of only 8 of those in the United States. Very state-of-the-art plastics engineering program. And then cybersecurity / information security, which is a very sought after program for international students coming here with learning how to protect intellectual property for companies. So those are some of our specialized programs that if you looked us up, those are going to stick out.
Yeah, great variety there. And I note the sports management course as well, and I guess a lot of athletes are quite interested in that. And in the video, I think it's one of your baseball players had the opportunity to support the sports media team on campus. Is that something, again, that would be available?
Yes. So not only do we have we have a social media team that's a selected few of our student athletes. We have, again, I mentioned our international liaison, but we also have student athlete workers. Whether you want to work and help set up a game, we'll compensate you for that. If you wanted to work a track meet, a swim meet, a volleyball game, a baseball game, whatever the case may be, not only can you work it, but I'm basically kind of trying to start a mentorship where you get to shadow, the admin in our office to see what the day in and day out did. So I'm establishing some internships and some practicums with our sports management program, as well as our sports science, exercise science programs, so that these practicums can count towards their degree, but they're also getting some hands-on experience to be able to take with them. So yeah, those are all opportunities, whether it be on the media side, whether it is, hey, like we're selling season tickets, we need ideas to help market, or we need ideas on how to do this, or whatever the case may be. But there are opportunities for enrichment on the academic side within athletics.
All great for your CV when it comes to applying for jobs, I guess, as well, which is great. And I know you're both kind of very proud of where you come from in Portsmouth, Ohio. For those on the call tonight who aren't aware of kind of where you guys are located, can you give us a little bit of insight into Portsmouth as somewhere to live, somewhere to kind of study and spend 4 years, and what campus life is like for Shawnee State Bears?
Yeah, absolutely. So Portsmouth is a small, quaint city. I would probably describe us as a college town, easy to get around, walk, e-bike, scooters, with local restaurants and cinemas and grocery stores, and students find themselves, integrated into our community. We run a friendship family program here, so students stay with, can be paired with locals in the community, and it's a wonderful town, low cost. That's one of the feedback that I get from international students is, just the ability to thrive here, because it doesn't cost them that much, out of their pocket to be here. Friday night out with their friends, the cost to go out and eat and entertainment just is very affordable as compared to maybe being in a major city. We're, as far as our location, we're about 50 minutes from Huntington, West Virginia, about an hour and a half from Columbus, the capital city of Ohio, and 2 hours down the road is Cincinnati, which all these big cities boast, professional sports, baseball, soccer, football. So our students do go on the weekends and get to, be a part of the hustle and bustle of a, city life. But then they come here and they're back here on campus where, they're known by a name, that they're safe, they can get around. It's a very safe city. I've lived here my whole life. I think Coach Cadogan's, a product of Portsmouth himself. So we understand, it's very family oriented and safe. So that, that's what we want for our family, for our families who live here. And so I think that's important for a student and their family to know when their child comes here, they're going to be safe and taken care of. So much so as, I just helped a student this afternoon in International with their resume for the career fair on Friday, because they're getting ready to graduate. I take students to the grocery store in my own car, pick them up and drop them off from the airport. We don't make them take an Uber. We take care of them as one of our own. And I feel like being a part of Portsmouth, Ohio, that's a service that you get that you wouldn't normally get at maybe a big institution where they have thousands of international students. So, I love my city. I love my town where I'm from. It's a beautiful place, definitely with the rolling hills nearby. That's the picture that I can lay out. Maybe Coach Cadogan has something to add to that.
I think you knocked it out of the park. I think we are. Sometimes, like being a small city, they say there's nothing to do, but we're an hour and a half from Columbus, 2 hours from Cincinnati. There is something to do. There's a river here, a big forest, not too far, and then campus is bustling and booming. Between all the games and stuff, if you're bored, it's because you don't take initiative to go find something to do. I'll just say that part.
And Ryan, you described it as 70 degrees, kind of autumn sunshine at the moment, which for us here in the UK, we're very jealous of. So a good place to be in the autumn by the looks of it.
It's probably one of the best times to be in Ohio weather-wise. I mean, it's we have 4 seasons. Winter can be a little bit cold, and then you get springtime and summer. So it's a great environment, weather-wise to be in. Having all those seasons.
And I guess, a relatively small university. I think it's 3,400 enrolled students, but that sort of intimacy will certainly be appealing for a number of people.
Right.
Okay, I've got one more question I'll save till the end, but I'm just going to go through a few. I know you've been popping a few questions on the chat, so I'll try and ask as many of these as I can. I know there's a few on that are rugby players. I know rugby's an emerging sport in the US. Do you guys have a rugby program, or is that something that's potentially in the offing?
We are potentially looking at that, but right now, no, especially with us bringing football. We are looking at women's flag football coming soon, and also lacrosse. We do have women's acrobatics and tumbling that we're looking at as well, but right now, rugby, because it's not a D2 NCAA sanctioned championship, we're not looking at that just yet.
Okay. So any rugby players on this, we do have a webinar next Tuesday we're doing an interview with a freshman college player who's out there at the moment. So if you can look on the website, you'll find details about that. Golf's another sport that's come up both for men's and women's. So I know golf is something that you guys offer. What would be the sort of admission requirements for, say, like scoring average for men's and women's golf?
So I don't have those statistics right offhand, but I've been kind of active in the chat conversation as well. I am posting our coaches' emails in there, and they can get those details from them. But on the women's side, we are open to evaluate. But as soon as I would get any scores or information like that, I would send them to the head coach for assessment. So that would be the best course of action there. But I can also put our women's coach in the chat as well.
Perfect. And I know there's a couple of questions regarding soccer players from outside the UK. So I have put that we obviously host trials here in the UK in certain countries. For those countries where we don't host trials, you can send in footage. You can add footage to your academic profile, or you can speak to your FirstPoint consultant, and we can have a discussion with you about your kind of playing levels and looking at some of your performances and achievements. So that's something our team would be more than happy to discuss with you on a call. So again, we'll put that in the follow-up email with some information on that. Someone has asked, do you do a diploma in cyber security? Again, I know that was a course that was mentioned.
Yes, we do. We do offer cybersecurity as one of the majors.
Perfect. And someone's asking on the basketball program. We have a successful basketball program. How many players are in your basketball roster?
So I did post the SSUbears.com as our webpage, and that has a lot of intricate information in it. Current rosters, you can go see last year's roster. You can go see wins and loss. So just to be full transparent that we're not hiding anything and trying to trick or anything, you can go see the information for yourself on the website. It's there. But currently on the men's team, we have about 20 on the men's basketball, and on the women's basketball, we're right around 17, and that's pretty much the average. We did make it to the national tournament in women's basketball last year. We did not make it in the men's, but we did make it the year before last. So
great. And then Lou, final question: do you offer business courses?
Yes, that's one of our strong points. So we do offer business undergrad and graduate level courses.
That's great. Thank you.
And our business program, I'll add to that, is accredited as well. So
yeah, and I know again, and sort of innovation and entrepreneurship seem to come through strongly in that video. So that's something that you guys pride yourselves on. Is that kind of key focus for you?
Yeah, program accreditation is huge. There's I think that's an important thing if you're considering, when you're looking at degree programs, like what how are the degree programs preparing those students for their careers, and what types of employers are looking at their graduates, and that accreditation is a big piece to that. And so our faculty are, it's very important to them to make sure that our programs have those accreditations. And so, it's important to say that, like, our business program has it, our MBA program, the master's has it, because those could be questions that you get when you go to get them. The employer might look into, what program did you graduate from, and what was, their preparation for this candidate. So.
Thanks for that. So yeah, thanks everybody for questions. Hopefully that's covered most of the topics. So I got one final one just come in, and I think this was from Thomas. Does the university have any course on music performance, and what is the live music scene like around the university?
Do you play an instrument? If there is something that Shawnee State doesn't have, we're open access to building and developing it. I do see one question: are there scholarships for men's football? Of course there is. Football is going to come fall of 28. With football comes an expanded cheer sport, and also comes marching band. So right now there is not a real robust live music on campus. Like, you might have a couple people playing their guitars or something like that, but we will have a marching band coming very soon. So yeah, you would have an opportunity to do that. And I said our music with business, what I would tell you to do is take your music major and do a business minor, or business major and a music minor, and make it your own. Sometimes it's not necessarily linear, just depending on what you want to achieve once you graduate. There are pathways there.
Thanks for that. So exciting times around the football program going forward, with different opportunities around cheer and marching bands as well. So thanks for clarifying that. So final question from me, guys. Guess it's your chance to kind of sum up what is it like being a Bayer student athlete at Shawnee State University?
Yeah, being a Shawnee State athlete, and again, my goal for my seat is to recruit the best athletes that we can. We want them from around the world, and internationals are very valuable here at Shawnee State University. I love the culture. I love when we do different projects here, seeing the different languages, hearing the different languages, seeing that interaction, and learning from them. So I'm trying to learn a little bit of Portuguese. I'm not going to repeat what I do know because I will butcher it, but I think there's a lot of value. So we want to recruit the best athletes. We want to retain them. My goal here is, once we have you on campus, we're not a used car salesman. We want to keep you here. We want to support you. We want to give you everything so you can grow and thrive. So we want to retain. So recruit, retain, and then of course we want to win. We want to win in the classroom first. You are here as a student first, athlete second, and we want to win games. We want to beat everyone we come across. We want to win. We want to win a championship. We want to win titles, and we want to do that together.
Can you add to that, Coach Warner?
Oh no, I mean, he nailed it on the head. But honestly, I mean, the bottom line is we're competitive. We're competitive as an institution. We're career driven for our students. We're affordable. I think that's a big one. And it's life-changing for our international students, and they would all attest to that, if prospective students got the opportunity to talk to them. And hopefully, I encourage students to go back and watch. If you go to the Amazon, episode, College Tour, check it out. If you also go to our Shawnee State YouTube page, you can see where a lot of our Brazilian students did a marketing video, from plastics engineering to cybersecurity and computer engineering, and just kind of get a taste or an insight of what our international students are doing here. And I hope that prospective students will find a home here. I know it sounds a little cliche, but honestly, it's the truth, because I've been an international student. I lived in Spain, studied in Spain, and I know what those needs are for their students. Their parents want a good, comfortable, safe place for their kids to go and be successful. And I think that Shawnee is, I mean, I know that's a place where you can find it.
That's great. Appreciate your answers and very well summed up there. It does sound like a very exciting place to play your sport and study. Some fantastic opportunities, both athletically and academically. And clearly your passion for Shawnee really speaks volumes. And yeah, hopefully everybody on the webinar this evening has learned a little bit about Shawnee State University, both as a place to study, but also some of the athletic opportunities that are available. So as I said at the start, we'll share a recording of this. We'll send out some additional information with a few links and contact details. If anybody is with us as FirstPoint athletes and is interested, which I'm sure you will be, our talent management team will be more than happy to set up a call to discuss some of the opportunities in a little bit more detail. So on behalf of FirstPoint USA this evening, really appreciate your time. Coach Cadogan and Coach Warner, it's been invaluable, really good insights into life as a student athlete at Shawnee. So thanks very much for your time. Thanks to everybody for joining. There are other webinars coming up on kind of different individual sports that you can sign up to as well. So keep an eye out on the website, and we shall no doubt be hosting another one of these with possibly one of your leads from a different sport coming on in the next couple of months. So appreciate your time. Have a good day or evening, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.